everybody? Welcome to another edition of Box Seats. Your host, Frank Holder here. Let me bring in the comics. Get ready to talk about this show called Sports with Comedians. My man, Maurice Smith is in the building. Mo, what's happening? How you doing, sir?
What's going on, Frank? What's going on, Frank?
We doing this Box Seats thing.
I'm
I
not.
don't know where everybody else is, so,
I'm not
you
scented. I'm
know.
not scented. Am I scented, Frank?
Why we gotta have to? No, you're not. You know why you're not sent it? Because you got that New York logo too much in the middle. So you're gonna need to take that down.
Frank. I'm gonna say this one time and one time only. There's only
Uh-huh.
enough room in here for one comedian, and it ain't you. All right. So let me.
I'll let you do the joke. I'll let you do the
No,
joke.
no, I'm not scented. Seriously, I'm not. Am I?
Yeah,
I'm on that.
you're sent it. You're sent
I'm
it.
good. Okay.
You're
Okay.
good. You're sent.
Okay.
But
Who else is here?
you're good enough. You're good. You're good. Let's get ready to
Okay.
talk about. First of all, how was your weekend? How did everything jump off while we wait till the guys come in? How's everything for you?
Yeah, my weekend was good. I had a bunch of shows. Thursday, Friday. We see Thursday. I was in the North End in Boston. Friday, I was in New Hampshire. I'm starting to tap into the market out there. Saturday, I was at Beverly at the Off Cabot Comedy Club, which is under the John Tobin
Mhm.
comedy circuit. Did my thing, had a good time. Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, man, excited. You know what was really waiting for the Super? I got tired waiting for the Super Bowl to come on. I had to
I did
take a
too.
nap. I missed like the first quarter. I
I
missed.
did too.
I woke up like, oh, it's on.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. My man Dave, the business bully, is a bigger man than I ever thought that he would be by showing up a day after his team lost. Bro, I gotta give you much kudos to that because I ain't gonna lie. When my Patriots lost, I was nowhere to be found for a week.
Yeah.
I was out.
To,
I was
to
out.
quote one of my dear friends and a very good individual named Dwayne Carter Jr., I ain't never ran from a nothing, and I'm damn sure ain't about to pick today to start running. First of all, shout out to the NFC champion Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay.
Simply because they weren't in a Super Bowl, they were in a triple threat match. It was the Eagles versus the Chiefs versus the refs versus the timekeepers, but that's okay. You're not going to take away a phenomenal season from me. I am okay. I am fine. I am not upset at all.
All right. Well, let's jump into it, man. Dave, let's jump into it. Dave, then I'm gonna come to you, Mo. Let's jump into it. Obviously, give me your take on the Super Bowl. Besides the obvious, overall, you take a step back and look at the game and everything else. Because I'm not, as an observer for me, who I didn't have a horse in this race at all. Like I thought it was one of the best Super Bowls I've seen in a long time. You know what I mean? Like two great powerhouses. You know what I mean? I loved it. What's your
Top
take?
5 Super Bowls I have ever seen in my life. Top 5, gotta be. I almost want to go out and say top 3. But first of all, Mahomes put on a clinic.
Yeah.
He also showed you the difference between where Jalen Hurts is developmentally and where he is. Because I think if Jalen Hurts was put in that same position, Frank, and was down like that, and then to come from behind, and literally every single time the Chiefs had the ball, they were scoring. And not only that, the ability to understand how to run out the clock, how to read the defense, how to make certain plays on the fly. Like I enjoyed that game, and I would have enjoyed Mahomes and Andy Reid's performances even more if I wasn't an Eagles fan. But it was the best football I've seen all year.
Yeah, it was I definitely have to give you that. And last thing I'm gonna say to you before I throw it to Mo is overall, you looked at how it is and everything else. Do you hold anything against your boy Jalen Hurts for being he's only been he started for two good years and he's already in the Super Bowl. Like, what's your thoughts on him already in the Super Bowl?
You asking me?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I will tell you. It's kind of like how people say, well, this person shouldn't be president because they don't have the experience. When you become president, it's the first time you're president, right? So you're learning things. And I think for people to talk about, because remember, there were folks saying that he wasn't the guy. There was, let's go get Russell Wilson. And I was like, Yeah, and even I'm not gonna lie, I will stay true. I was like, you know what, maybe Russell Wilson, because he's got some seasoning, would be a better choice. I think that Jalen Hurts performed phenomenally well. He had one major slip up, when it came to that I don't know, it was a fumble. It wasn't an interception, it was a fumble. But other than that, like, he played phenomenal. And when you look at the Eagles' losses, Jalen Hurts wasn't the one playing. So you got to look at his record. He's 16-1 when he suits up. So overall, I think in 3 years, the dude is going to be the franchise. Point blank and period. He's going to be the standard bearer for this league.
That part.
So right now,
I disagree with you.
He fell short to a better quarterback.
Nah, Dave, he is the franchise.
Say it, but that's the truth.
He is the franchise. My man Rodney Perry has joined the show. Rodney, how you doing, bro? How's everything?
What's up, guys? Please excuse my tardiness on today. You guys are unpacking the game, I'm sure, man. It was first of all, it was a really good Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. I think we can all agree on that. You know what I hate to see? I hate to see two teams slug it out in the center of the ring, and then the game get reduced to letting the time run off the clock, and a penalty. It's just unacceptable to me, man. It was like watching a heavyweight boxing match that ended up as a chess match. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, beyond Jalen Hurts, beyond Patrick Mahomes, even, I think the Kansas City Chiefs just outcoached them. They outcoached. They made 3 big plays to wide open receivers, and that whole scheme that they ran with the motion and then the cut back into the zig route to a wide open player twice. I mean, it was like the Eagles were ill prepared for that, and that proved to be, I think, what the difference in the game. We can talk about referees and they should have done this and they shouldn't have called this, but though that series of plays to wide open receivers is the difference in the game.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a second. Mo, give me your thought process, man, on what your recap was of the game, because to play the game to me, I'll tell you all my play of the game. But go ahead, Mo. What's your take?
Yeah, man. Philadelphia didn't sustain themselves in the second half. I mean, they had a 10-point lead at halftime. I mean, like, come on. Yeah, they've been dominating all year long. I knew I shouldn't bet with them raggedy ass Eagles. I knew I shouldn't have bet with them raggedy ass Eagles. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's right, Dave. I'm saying it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all was representing the NFC East. We had just made a comeback. Man, you know what, man? Go ahead. Ask me that question.
I'm going to come back to you.
Yeah, ask me that question.
Play the game to me. And to me, Dave, play the game to me was the kickoff to the Kansas City Chiefs when the guy, I forgot his name, the cornerback,
Darius Toney,
back to the 5-yard line. That was the play of the game, because obviously that set up the Chiefs. They were up by 1. That set up the Chiefs to open it up even more. And ended up scoring, ended up going by 8. That was the play of the game to me. To you, what was the play of the game that literally put the nail in the coffin for the Eagles?
Well, Frank, when you, and I don't know this because you light skin, so you probably avoided this, but if you ever got your ass whipped, right, you don't go back and analyze which swing hit. And like, I was so busy getting upset at the fact that we blew a 10-point lead at halftime that I literally went and, I went and made my kids some chicken fingers, and I came back and I looked and I'm like, how the hell is it 35 off? I felt like Derek Cox. How did we get here? I didn't like the last 5 to 10 minutes for me. What was painful, because it's like you're just watching the clock go. It's just like watching a girl leave with your homeboy. It's like you mad, but you too in shock to do anything. So yeah, no, it was the entire last half for me. It really was. We just didn't have an answer.
Okay, I'll give that to you. So let me ask you, Rodney Perry. You just said a couple of things. To you, was the play of the game the Jalen Hurts fumble? Was it the kickoff return for the Kansas City Chiefs? Was it the what was the play? Because it was like 3 or 4 play of the games.
The game turned on the call. the call of a bad catch after he had caught it, tipped to it on the sideline. They pushed him out of bounds.
Yeah.
That the game turned on that play, because if the Eagles make that play, they go up 10, they go up 17 points.
No, they didn't score on that play.
No, they would have scored.
They
would have scored. They would have scored. Instead, you go back. You run third down like twice.
Yeah.
Like they did some stuff that you never see in Super Bowls. They stopped the play. The play moved on.
Right.
And then they brought the play back. They recalled that play and brought the play back, man. It was really, that was the turning point of the game. And also a turning point of the game is this. When Patrick Mahomes gets hit and comes up limping, he never looked back. His offensive line stood up the rest of the game, and they didn't get a glove on the rest of the game.
Yeah, because when he got hurt and he was limping out, I was like, oh, it's over. The Eagles about to win. I thought it was that.
Patrick Mahomes is either the best actor in the world or he's the best actor in the world.
Okay. Mo, what was your take on the play of the game? What was the play of the game?
I think for me, the play of the game, other than the replay, the do-over, because they did a do-over. I think I put that in the thread.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, they did a do-over. I think Rodney responded like, yep, they did a do-over. But to me, what the play of the game was? That first drive coming out of the second half, coming out of halftime. Kansas City went right down the field. They barely even threw the ball. They ran right up their butts the whole time. And then they ran down and scored. Once that happened, I knew the game was over. Because they went to Kansas City that we knew them to be. They were running over it, man. They ran through them like Grant ran through Richmond.
Wow.
Yeah, they sure did. Now, Dave, you're the business guy. You the Philadelphia Eagles.
A Civil War reference.
Yeah, well, it is. Yes, sir.
You amaze me every day.
I got a little
Dave,
bit.
What we gonna do with Jalen Hurts this season? Because Jalen Hurts is literally a free agent. He became a free agent the minute the game was over. And right now, the biggest talk all around Philadelphia, and not that you don't know this, and the biggest talk with all the sports talk radio, all the places. Hey, Jalen Hurts is a free agent. What are the Eagles gonna do? What are the Eagles gonna do? So what are the Eagles gonna do, Dave? What do you think they should do? Because the benchmark's 230.
Right. So here's the thing, Frank. Those are two different questions. The first question is, what should the Eagles do? The Eagles should re-sign this phenomenal quarterback immediately because he can grow with the team. The same way a guy was picked in the 10th round and went to New England and became Tom effing Brady. At some point, you got to realize when you got a gold mine, you develop it. You just don't go for the next hot thing. You keep this guy happy. Now, what they're going to do 9 times out of 10, because Philadelphia sports teams, regardless of sport, tend to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory, they might see what else is out there. And that would be a critical and really stupid mistake. But it's Philadelphia. As much as I love my team, we do stupid things like let Charles Barkley go and let Eric Lindros go and let Randall Cunningham go. Like, we let people go. We let T.O. go. Now,
you know what, Dave? That's not the biggest part is y'all was on a winning streak and y'all didn't sign this man to an extension during the season. So the Philadelphia Eagles management have to be held accountable for not being able to sign him to some kind of extension instead of wait into the season. Because being that he's a free agent, he can sign with anybody.
Anybody. That's the thing. Like I said, and I've always, if you pay attention to what I've said over the past couple of years now, Frank, it's always the front office that loses more games than the offense, defense, coaches, and special teams because we don't have things lined up the right way. And yeah, you don't let somebody go out to be a free agent. That's like if you're dating a girl and you tell her, yeah, baby, one day we get married. And then you find out that she's messing with Floyd Mayweather. And Floyd Mayweather puts her in his harem. Like, you only have you to blame because you should have married that girl.
Yep, 100%. Rodney Perry, what do you think the Eagles should do with free agent Jalen Hurts? Or does Jalen Hurts go sign with, it's crazy as it may sound, being that he's a free agent, he could sign with anywhere with anybody. And if Philadelphia Bucks at wanting to sign him for that asking price, which should be the floor should be 230. What's your take on this Jalen Hurts situation, Rodney Perry? And Michael Sean, shout out to Michael Sean who's joined the show. Mike Sean, what's up?
What up?
Yeah, I think they have to pay him. They have to pay him. Whether he's a free agent or not. They gotta just. Because I felt like I read something to him about him still being on his rookie contract.
It just ended.
Okay, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, man, you got to pay the guy. Don't have a situation like you got in Baltimore. You know, they tend to get all this amnesia about paying people when they get to black quarterbacks, man. And but you know, I also question how good is the guy. You know, I mean, I think he played a phenomenal game, but you know, you get used to seeing quarterbacks do certain things like. You know, I think one of the things playing against him is he's so good running the ball that he don't pass the ball enough for a lot of teams. So he don't check all the boxes for a $200 million QB. You know, I think at least I think that's what a play against him.
I think you're crazy because I think that boy's a beast. I think he's one of the best
I am
QBs
crazy.
in the league. Yeah, because he was the
Absolutely.
runner-up for the MVP. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, but he
Mo,
wasn't the MVP. The guy that was the MVP won the game and throws the ball all the time.
the guy that won the MVP of the Super Bowl and won the Super Bowl. So I don't even know when the last time that happened. Maurice Smith, what's your take on this Jalen Hurts situation? What you think
Can't they franchise him
Yeah,
right now?
they
They can, yeah. So they're not gonna. Philadelphia ain't panicking because if nothing else happens, he's gonna be in the stable. They
This is
will
what could happen.
franchise him.
This is what could happen. They could franchise him, and he could still sit out for the year because they franchised him and wait till he gets a contract, and then maintain offers from other teams. He could do that too. So you think he'll just play on that under that franchise tag?
Well, I don't know, but Philadelphia, listen, check this out. Philadelphia shot their load last night. They're not going to be the same team next year anyway. So they got a lot to look at because they're going to lose some key defensive players, some key offensive players also. So Jalen Hurts is the least of their worries. Yeah, they may just franchise him and set him down and say, look, we got a lot to do to get back to where we were this past season, and we need your cooperation. You know, cut like that because deep down Philadelphia, they're losing like two key defensive players. One might retire. You know, come on, man. They got a lot to look at. But once the Super Bowl ended,
Michael Sean is in the building. Mike, how you doing? How was your weekend, bro?
No, it was good. It was good. Everything was good. What's going on?
So your question for you, Michael Sean, is what do you think the Eagles should do? First of all, what was your thoughts on the game, and what do you think the Eagles should do with this Jalen Hurts situation?
It was a great game. The Eagles haven't done anything wrong, and I'm a Giant fan.
Who you
They
feeling?
haven't done anything wrong with Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts actually, to tell everybody, Jalen Hurts was the best quarterback on the field last night. He was the best quarterback on the field. He made one mistake. He was the best quarterback on the field. He outpassed Mahomes, and God bless Patrick Mahomes. He's the MVP and everything like that. The Eagles, let me tell you something. From a Giant fan, the Eagles are going to be a problem for the next 6 to 7 years. They're going to be a problem. They're going to be an NFC championship team. And it is what it is. Like, we got to really talk sports right now. The one guy that they have is retiring. The rest of that team is a young team. They're a young team that is about to develop into something. Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes might meet each other in the Super Bowl 2 more times. And this is from a Giant fan. So the Eagles are going to take care of Jalen Hurts. They're going to take care of the defense situation. Look, the organization, when it comes to organizations, the Philadelphia Eagles have done what they're supposed to do. They could have folded when Carson Wentz became a bust. They didn't. They didn't fold. They did what nobody thought they could do. They got rid of him and put all their trust in somebody who could have been the MVP this year if didn't get hurt. So it was a great game. Amazing. It hurts me to say this, but the Eagles are locked and loaded to go to another Super Bowl.
Okay. All right. So let me ask Dave this question. Dave, here's the crazy thing is right now is literally Andy Reid is like 4-0 against the Eagles right now. As an Eagles fan and everything else, how are you feeling about what's going on with Andy Reid? Because Andy Reid came from, if I'm correct, if I'm wrong, wasn't he the coach of the Philadelphia Eagles and has been for years? And now he's 4-0 with the Eagles. So what's your thoughts now on Andy Reid as the coach? And should the Philadelphia Eagles have kept him?
I think the problem with Andy Reid is that Andy Reid and Jeffrey Lurie did not see eye to eye on some things. And sometimes, just like anything else, there are promoters in their comics. And sometimes promoters think they know what's best, but they don't. Or comedy club owners know what's best, and they don't. You have to let somebody do what they are born to do. which is perform. Andy Reid was not perfect, but I think Andy Reid never really had all of the tools. The tools didn't come until Andy Reid left. And so now that Andy Reid has been able to develop a system that he knew would work, that was tried and true without somebody bugging him about it, because, I mean, you don't mess with a winner. That's why that young owner on the Chiefs team was like, yeah, no, we're so happy, Andy, this, that, and the third. And that's why the guy said, hey, Andy, you know, you're not young. We're not young anymore. You think about retiring? He's like, no, I'm thinking about enjoying this and getting right back at it, because he's finally appreciated. And the problem with people generally in business, in sports, in love, in everything is a lot of times people are tolerated when they're begging to be celebrated for what it is they are born to do. So yeah, he has our number because he wrote the playbook, or at least has an idea of how the Philadelphia structure goes. And that's just that. It's like it wasn't, you know, any far stretch of the imagination when I was in Dallas at one radio station and I went to that other radio station and whipped the old radio station's ass. I know the plays.
Right. So Rodney Perry, the question I got for you is Eric Bieniemy is now should be one of the most sought after coaches, but not even but. The great thing I like what Andy Reid did was he gave him, the microphone was in his face, he gave Eric Bieniemy a lot of credit. So should Eric Bieniemy now be looking to, as a head coach position, or do you think he's going to end up staying with Kansas City? What's your thoughts on Eric Bieniemy right now?
I mean, I think he's had opportunities to take head coaching jobs, and he has elected to stay in the Kansas City fold. Will he make that move now? Maybe he should, but it's a much tougher job to run a team, and they don't keep black head coaches as long as they keep black offensive coordinators. I mean, you know, Eric Bieniemy has been in that position for some years now, and if he takes on his own team, he may be looking at that as a situation where he could be out of a job in a year. So, I mean, do you bet on yourself? Or do you bet on the history of the NFL when it comes to head coaches? If I'm Eric Bieniemy, I might keep my Kansas City jersey on and keep winning rings.
Right,
I mean, that's his offense. That's not, you know, he outcoached the Philadelphia Eagles, not the head coach.
He did. Mo, I don't know if Eric Bieniemy got offers. I'm not sure on that part. I don't think so. But let's look at it like this: Eric Bieniemy brought a Kansas City Chiefs team to the AFC Championship in 5 years in a row. He got them to 2 Super Bowls that they won. You know what I mean? And one that they lost. So what's your take on Eric Bieniemy's situation right now?
Yeah, you know, it's a tricky situation, but sometimes you got to step out of your comfort zone. You know, sometimes you got to step up, even if you fail. You know, that's the whole. I mean, all of us that's on here right now stepped out of their comfort zone to get where they at right now, and we didn't care if we failed or succeeded. We just wanted to be able to say, "I did it." You don't want to end your life, not end your life, but you don't want to end the day saying, "Damn, what if I would have tried?" or "I wonder what would have happened." So Eric needs to go out there and put his best foot forward. If he succeeds, he succeeds. If he fails, he fails. He's going to get a job no matter what. Who's going to turn down Eric Bieniemy because he couldn't head coach somewhere, but he's willing to come to your team and be the OC? You know, straight like that, man. You got to challenge yourself. In everybody's career, you got to redefine yourself at some point, unless you just want to go safe.
So you think he would leave and make a lateral move to be an OC somewhere else?
I'm saying no. I'm sorry. What you say, Frank?
I'm saying, hold on a second. Let Mike Sean get his thoughts in before we start asking questions about that. Go ahead, Mike Sean. What's your take on Eric Bieniemy's situation?
Yeah, I think Eric Bieniemy, we talked about this last week. We talked about the week. Eric Bieniemy to stay exactly where he's at till Andy Reid hands him the reins. I think Eric Bieniemy is qualified to be a head coach. I think he should have a head coaching position. But let's be clear between us. He's going to all these championships with Patrick Mahomes as the quarterback. It's a lot easier being an offensive coordinator when Patrick Mahomes is the quarterback. There are a lot of things that work that shouldn't work when Patrick Mahomes is the quarterback. And I think he should sit right there. He should wait for Andy Reid to tell him, I'm out of here. They'll win another Super Bowl, go to another Super Bowl, and chill right there.
Okay.
There's certain times when them cliches don't work. I shouldn't have to go out my comfort zone. My comfort zone is treating me this good.
That's
No, I
100%.
only gone. No.
Go ahead,
No,
Mo. What was you gonna
no.
say? Rodney asked you a
No,
good
I
question.
don't. Yeah, you know what? I'm not saying make a lot of would be an OC somewhere else. Be a head coach. Be a head coach. How do you become a head coach if you don't step out your comfort zone? Same thing with this comedy. How do I become a headliner if I don't step out my comfort zone? If I keep running with the same routine that's comfortable and easy for me to get applause. You know, I know where the laughs is coming at.
Right.
I sound like, no, man, step out your comfort zone to step your game up. Everybody got to step out their comfort zone to step their game up. Just
But
because
you
you ain't gonna have
realize the point I was making, and I'm not disputing that. I'm all about taking a leap of faith. But when you know the NFL and their history with black head coaches, I mean, do you really take a chance?
listen, I'm a chance taker. I'm up here in Boston taking chances with
Enough
these white
said.
comedy clubs.
You in Boston. You're right. They don't like
You know
blacks.
what, Rodney? You know what, Rodney? Don't let the
No, they
Brooklyn
don't like
come out.
blacks.
But
But I'm
understand,
saying,
you know,
but I'm taking chances at the white comedy clubs. I'm knocking on the door. I'm not getting it what I think I deserve, you know. But it doesn't stop me from
Okay.
saying
Yeah,
I'm
understood.
here.
Well
I'm
said.
here, and I'm
Well
gonna be
Dave.
to be I'm a force to be reckoned with.
Dave,
That's
other
what
big
Eric
news
need to
happened.
do.
The other big news that happened over the weekend was that the Jets reached out to the Green Bay Packers to see if Aaron Rodgers was available. And today we're supposed to hear back the word whether or not the Jets would be interested. I mean, whether or not the Green Bay Packers would be interested in trading Aaron Rodgers and everything else. And being that we've been talking about this for a year. Like, I know I definitely been presenting that to you guys for a year, and more so in the last couple of weeks when the Jets lost and they need a QB. Do you see that is the ball starting to roll on that? What's your thoughts on that right now? Aaron Rodgers on the Jets.
I don't like Aaron Rodgers. I have never liked Aaron Rodgers. I think he's a pompous ass. However, I think if you put Aaron Rodgers with the New York Jets, it's a problem. It's a problem for two reasons. Number one, Aaron Rodgers is a bit of a prima donna. He wants to be catered to. He likes a little diddle. You feel what I'm talking about? Aaron Rodgers ain't getting a diddle in Green Bay. Only he's getting his cheese curds and ear waxing. He needs to get diddled, and he's going to get diddled in New York. I think the other part of that is when you have been talked about the way that we have dogged that man out, and you get him in a brand new environment with brand new tools, with a lot of leeway, he is going to perform, and he is going to put his foot in somebody's ass. I want that Aaron Rodgers to show. I need that Aaron Rodgers to show up because I'm a football fan. And the idea of him going to the New York Jets and changing that culture and making that team what it deserves to be is absolutely exciting for me. I think it needs to happen. You've been talking about it for as long as I've known you. So I don't really see this being anything but a win all the way around.
Yeah, that's for the New York market, people. You know, listen, Rodney Perry, we talked about it for a long time. Early on, y'all thought it was crazy, but now after the year been going on, y'all been hearing Aaron Rodgers talk. I know y'all thinking it's a possibility. So what you think now, Rodney Perry? Uncle Rodney, talk to me. What you think now?
I mean, come on, man. I mean, I like Aaron Rodgers, man, but I'm just reminded of his failures, man. I mean, he plays great during the regular season. He gets into the playoffs. He gets in the crunch time, and he falls short. I mean, we're looking at Jalen Hurts, and we're saying this guy is not an MVP because he fumbled the ball one time. Aaron Rodgers fumbled the whole game. I mean, and I like Aaron Rodgers. I play with him on Madden, but Aaron Rodgers.
I play with him on Madden.
I do.
Because
he's a really good quarterback. But Aaron Rodgers is a loser, man. He's a loser. Okay.
So why do you pick him on Madden if he's a loser?
Because he can throw the ball, and they rate him higher than other quarterbacks that are better. Like they got a guy like Jalen Hurts on Madden. Take for instance, and I'll get off this subject very fast. They got Jalen Hurts. He throw the ball. He popcorn the ball in there. We watched this guy throw the ball on the rope 45 yards yesterday. This guy can throw the ball, but yet and still on the game, he's still rated like an 87. And so he may be one of the faster quarterbacks on the game. He still got running crazy slow. Dude, I'm telling you that these games and the way people are perceived matters, man. And I'm telling you, they still rate Aaron Rodgers like that, but in real life, Aaron Rodgers in crunch time is going to fail.
Okay, all right. So Mo, what's your take on this situation? Aaron Rodgers to the Jets, because the Jets, what they need is a quarterback. They got a stellar defense. They got some crazy good wide receivers on offense. They need a quarterback. They might get one. What's your take on this, Mo?
I like Aaron Rodgers as a quarterback with the Jets, but his personality don't fit New York. I'm sorry. His personality. You got to have a certain personality.
As much as a cheesehead that he is, are you serious? As much as he loves all that attention, you don't think he fits in New York? Really?
Nah, man. He ain't got the right. He got that Midwest swag. He ain't got that East Coast swag. He got that it's all about me swag.
That's
that
New
ain't
York.
New York.
No,
it ain't. No, it ain't.
Yes, the hell it is.
Yes, it is. Yes,
that's because y'all ain't from New York. Y'all don't know New York like I know New York.
Okay, here we go. All right,
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that, Mr. Mo. And your backdrop
is and you think I'm gonna listen? You think I'm gonna listen to somebody from Massachusetts and Philadelphia that's gonna tell me?
You live in Massachusetts, man,
and I can't tell no. But
typical
but
New
I
York.
know
New York is so great. Why ain't your ass still there?
What?
Good question.
If New York is so great, why ain't you still there? You sound like these foreigners. Oh, in my country, everything is perfect. You do not appreciate Nigeria.
I ain't never say that. I said that he don't have New York swag. He don't.
You're tripping. All Aaron Rodgers got is swag.
Listen, imagine Aaron Rodgers at a press conference in New York City after losing the game, telling everybody, "Don't worry."
Come on, what's a press conference? I don't even know what that is. What's a press conference?
That's because he ain't got no R's because he's adapted to Boston. He ain't got no R's. So it's a press conference. The pocket is kind of by.
Let me tell you something. Y'all ain't gonna be talking to me like I'm a wet food stamp all the time. All right.
Mo, what's your take on Aaron Rodgers coming to New York? You think he's open arms? You think he fits? What's your thoughts? Because Mo don't think he fits.
Well, I'm Michael Short. I'm not Mo, but I'll say this: who cares where Aaron Rodgers goes? Aaron Rodgers goes to the AFC. He's at best, he's the best third quarterback in the NFC behind Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrows. And he's going to the Jets. If he goes to the Jets, he will fail. When I tell you Patrick Mahomes showed me something and Jalen Hurts showed me something in that Super Bowl that I forgot about Aaron Rodgers and all this talk about Aaron Rodgers, who cares? Who cares? He won't go to the AFC Championship with the Jets. And we keep saying he's got crazy receivers. He had good receivers with Green Bay. He's temperamental. God bless him. But this is not 2013. This is not 3 years ago. He's not going to go and run stuff. The quarterbacks that are running stuff are Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, and my man Joe Burrows. Those are the guys who are shaking up the meter right now. So he can go where he wants to go. He might want to just stay in Green Bay and chill.
Yeah, I agree with that one. Dave, do you think this Lamar Jackson situation is going to set the pendulum for how the whole QB situation going to work out with Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts and all these other free agents? Jimmy G, there's a lot of Derek Carr, a lot of free agents out there. Dave, you're on mute.
I think it comes down to whether or not everybody who is in charge, and I'm not talking about the quarterbacks, I'm talking about the agents, realize the value of the players in question. And I think right now, folks, especially the younger you are and the more leverage you have, because you're not really worried about salary cap because of all these free agencies, the more you value yourself and the more your representation values you, because the bigger their 3% is, the happier they are. So I think it's about to be a really interesting time, but there's going to be some shakeups, and there's going to be some shakeups in the QB positions all over the NFL coming up in the next couple of months. I cannot wait to see what happens.
I think so too. Rodney Perry, Derek Carr told the Raiders that he ain't coming. He don't want to be traded. I think his exact words were, Derek Carr went to waive his no trade clause, and he's like, no. So Derek Carr's in the driver's seat because he could choose how he wants to be released from the Raiders. You know what I mean? And he wants that guaranteed money to hit him in like 15 days. So it will hit him. And then he's going to eventually be released. So he's not going to be traded where he wants to be traded. He's going to end up picking what other team he goes. So what's your thoughts on this whole Derek Carr situation, Rodney Perry?
I mean, I'm on record. I'm not a fan of Derek Carr, but I'm a fan of these guys getting their money. And Derek Carr definitely is in the driver's seat. I was looking at this story as well. He's gonna get to make a decision, man. Where is he gonna end up though? Tampa Bay? Where is he gonna end up? In who else is out
Carolina.
there?
There's a lot of people. Carolina. Yeah, there's a couple people.
I mean, you don't want to go to Carolina and lose there too. It's a lot, man. I think Derek Carr, I think he throws a poor ball, and he doesn't have any zip on the ball. But you know, the guy is in control of his own destiny, and he happens to be white.
Okay, Mo, what's your take on this Derek Carr situation? Because he holds all the marbles.
Yeah, I was looking at that. Isn't it like if he doesn't get traded or nothing happens, doesn't he get like a large sum of money if nothing happens? Yeah, and it's like 2 more days, right?
Right, but here's the key thing is he could stop any trade because he has a no trade clause. He could stop any trade, so he's guaranteed to get that money. So he said, "I'm not going to be traded." He wants to.
Well, yeah, do your thing. You know, I said early on in box seats a few weeks ago. You know, I see Derek Carr as a Jet. I could see him as a Jet. You know, to come in and do his thing. They don't need a whole lot from a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers. He could be one, but yeah, Derek Carr, he's in control. I saw that. You know, he's got to do what he got to do, man, to take care of him and his franchise.
Okay, all right, I like that thought. What's your thought on this Derek Carr situation, Mike?
I hate to be redundant and repeat myself. Go to whatever team you want because you ain't gonna change nothing. I just named you the 3 quarterbacks: Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts. You not changing nothing going to Tampa Bay. You're not changing nothing. I'm telling you, the dominance that is about to happen in the NFL is that. Let me make a prediction right now, and please mark this down. Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes will be playing for the AFC Championship next year unless some crazy injury happens. Jalen Hurts will be playing somebody with the Eagles in the NFC Championship. I hope it's the New York Giants. Derek Carr ain't changing none of that.
Yeah, I can
He
see
ain't
that.
gonna change none of that. So go get him. Go win your 9 or 10 games. But if the Eagles, Kansas City, and Cincinnati, and I hope my Giants improve, if they stay set and they stay healthy, those are the teams that are going to be in the Final Four. And Derek Carr is not going to change. Is not going to move the meteor on that either.
100%, 100%. Dave, last question on the Super Bowl, man. What was your thoughts? My wife wanted me to ask this to everybody, so I'm going to ask everybody. What's your thoughts on the halftime performance of Rihanna before we move on to other things? And is it in your top 5?
I will say this. I work with Rihanna. I've met Rihanna. Rihanna's a very nice girl. I like her a lot, but that was the worst Super Bowl halftime performance ever, and it had nothing to do with her pregnancy. It was slow. It was redundant. It was like watching Mariah Carey. Remember when Mariah Carey gained like 60 pounds and just did this? Like, that's what it was like. And on top of that, Jay-Z's in the building. You don't get Jay-Z to come drop a verse, not one special guest, just you? And you think that that's enough after being on the shelf for 6-7 years? No. And I know the Rihanna Navy is going to come for me, and I really don't give a one bucket of hamster vomit. It was average at best. Hell, Coldplay had sense enough to bring out Bruno Mars and Beyonce. Listen, you need something else. It wasn't giving what I thought it was going to give. I thought she was going to come out there and bow, bow, bow. And no, like the floating rig. I would rather watch The Weeknd get lost in that labyrinth with the dead bones of David Bowie than watch that Super Bowl performance ever again.
Ooh,
trash.
That was low. Rodney Perry, what's your take on this situation with the Super Bowl halftime performance? And you're on mute. Rodney Perry, you're on mute.
I was saying that I enjoyed it, man. I really enjoyed Rihanna. I saw the baby's foot. And
No, you didn't say that.
it was. I thought her performance. I really wasn't well versed on her music, so to sit there and watch her navigate, her catalog, and how about this? Rihanna can sing, and she did her thing.
Top 5?
Say again.
Top 5?
No, I don't think so. I expected some features. I think we've grown accustomed to the features at Super Bowls, and she gave us no features. It was almost like we were at her concert, which was cool, you know, but I would have liked her to show like even a Chris Brown collab would have been crazy.
Yeah,
You
that'd be
know,
dope.
oh man, you
Yeah.
said a Chris
A
Chris
Chris Brown,
Brown.
them mending fences publicly would have been beautiful.
Yeah,
You
that'd
know,
been-
something like that, you know, could have been a great moment in history. And people will be talking about that for days. But instead, we're talking about how the little white man looked like A$AP Rocky Seaman. And that in itself is a problem, man. And a lot of people had a lot of stuff going on. I don't know if you can see this, Frank, but I think we got some footage of the business bully. Do you see that?
Yeah, let me see.
No, we don't see nothing.
Man, that guy's lost a lot of weight, man.
That's Dave.
That's Dave.
Nah, I done
Dave.
dropped 283 pounds, but I ain't that damn thin, and I ain't that
Dave,
damn
you
emotional.
look great, man. I mean, I ain't never seen you look so slim, bro.
Listen,
Here it
I've been
is.
working. I've been working.
There it is.
Hey, why would you snatch the TV off the wall? You know that ain't your crib. You was visiting.
I'll just buy another one. It's all right. That
It's
TV
all
wasn't
good.
$50.
Matter of fact, look, he in Target now. Buy another one. I hear you,
Oh,
Dave.
yeah.
I hear you, Dave. There it is. There it is. Oh, what's your take on that situation of the Super Bowl performance? What's your take, bro?
Yeah, I like Rihanna. You know, I like the fact that she got it. Yeah, it could have been a little bit more hyped up and a little bit more, and yeah, you know, but it's you know, we doing our thing with this halftime Super Bowl, and we getting more and more play. You know, we can't get it right every year. Last year was blam. This year was like, okay, but Rihanna, she's a beast. You know, you talk about one of the most influential women in the country right now, doing things on so many different levels that she kind of earned the spot to say, I don't want nobody on my show with me.
Okay, all right, Mo. Mike. Top 5 Rihanna Super Bowl performance, halftime performance.
No, it's not a top 5. You think my wife's gonna let me perform with somebody who I smashed out?
No, whoa.
Whoa, where's this?
Oh,
Really?
damn.
You really think Jay was gonna be able to tell B, oh yeah, I'm gonna hop on the stage?
Nah.
Allegedly. If the alleged words were out there, really, first of all, Rihanna she did fine. Top 5, no. She's pregnant.
Yeah.
She's not gonna be able to do top 5. She's not gonna top Michael Jackson. She's not gonna top Beyonce. And remember when Beyonce rocked out, she had Bruno Mars and everybody else. She's not gonna be able to top that. That's fine. She did fine. She did fine. That's all. That's what she did. She's a billionaire. She's done her thing. And they're just people who sit around and watch performances to try and critique it and try and say why it wasn't dope. She did just fine. Top 5.
Did you see the baby's foot is the question.
We didn't see the foot. We didn't see the foot.
Oh, no, I must got a different television.
You
must have a.
You must have the
have a
one
great-
that the guy smashed up.
So Dave, also over the weekend, Dave, Kyrie Irving, which this went completely under the radar. Kyrie Irving debuted with Luka Doncic over the weekend. They had a great thing where they was heading out and they had fun together. You know what I mean? So it looks like that.
I didn't see Luka play. Luka played with Kyrie.
Yeah, he sure did. So is a new thing in the West now, Dave? People be concerned because people were saying that they weren't going to be able to play together and do good together. So what was your take on this, Dave?
Yeah, a lot of times people have a lot of things to say that just don't mean anything in real life, right? Listen, if the price is right and the deal is real, I'm ready to ball. And I think that's what it comes down to. You can put petty differences aside, and you can put egos aside if you're trying to win. Kobe and Shaq were able to do it. You know, like Rodman and Jordan were able to do it. Like there comes a point where these things happen, and I think Kyrie is not given enough credit for the way that he has been level-headed through a lot of stuff. So he understands, from a business perspective what's required and what's necessary. So yeah, I'm not surprised at all, and I'm looking forward to seeing more. That's it.
Okay, Rodney Perry, you think this is going to be a new sun setting in the no pun intended towards obviously Kevin Durant, but do you think this is going to be a new thing setting in the West now with Luka and Kyrie supposedly playing very well together?
I mean, the question was, could Luka play with Kyrie? Am I muted?
No, you're muted. You're great. Go ahead.
No, the question was, could Luka play with Kyrie? We know Kyrie can play with a ball-dominant player like Luka. He played with LeBron James, for God's sake, and won a championship. I still think they're missing a piece or so there in Dallas, but they are forced to be reckoned with in the West, man. I like Dallas right now.
Yeah, he likes him. Mo, you like him? You like this whole situation that was turning out with these guys, with Luka and Kyrie?
Kyrie could play with anybody in the NBA. We all know he could play with anybody, but this is Kyrie's representative that's showing up on the court. This is not Kyrie Irving. This is his representative. Wait until Kyrie Irving shows up, and let's see if everything is going to go smoothly. It ain't about what he does on court. It's about everything else that comes with it.
Okay, all right. Well, I like that thought process because it's true. Michael Sean, what's your take?
Wow, well said.
I love Kyrie Irving. I think Kyrie Irving is a magician. I think he's going to go down in history as one of the greatest guys to ever dribble a basketball. But when people say he can play with anybody, he couldn't play with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. He couldn't play with Kevin Durant and James Harden. I think they're going to make some noise, but I think Rodney who said the entire team. Do they have the team to win a championship? Do they have a team to win a 7-game series against Memphis? Do they have the team to win a 7-game series this year against Denver? And I don't think they do. I think they'll be exciting, but I don't think they do.
Okay, all right. So let me ask Dave this question. Do you think that you had one of the best Super Bowl parties, and what was your Super Bowl weekend like? Because I know the Philadelphia Eagles had, y'all party was dope. And I'm gonna ask Roddy this too, because you guys are doing it.
Well, you got to understand something, Frank. I'm a different animal now, right? So I had some chicken wings. It was dope. I had the big screen popping. I had the Chase part of the couch, which is what we call daddy country. It was phenomenal, and for the first half of the game, my wife and my kids were out of the house. So I really got to enjoy football. Listen, that's the party that I'm shooting for. And if you're not shooting for that as a husband, I don't know what to tell you. I don't want you near the wells around me. I'm thin now. I better think.
Dave, rematch of the Super Bowl for next year?
Yes, absolutely. Without question. We're angry now.
There it is, Rodney Perry. Rematch of the Super Bowl, and how was your Super Bowl party? Because I know you had one too. You're mute again, Rodney Perry.
Sorry, I was doing stuff in the background. It's much harder to get back to the Super Bowl than it is to get to the NBA championship, So, I mean, there's so many moving parts. Like Mike Sean said, we can look forward to the Bengals making a run. You can look forward to Dallas always being a formidable opponent. We don't know what's going to happen down in Tampa Bay with a new quarterback. The Bears may look good if we find somebody to block up there. So it's hard to say if any team will make a complete comeback. But I mean, Kansas City may pop up again, but I don't know if the Eagles will, because they may have to clean house and pay some folks. But that's another story. For me, I like to keep it simple, man. I had my days going to Super Bowl parties. Let me tell you something. I was at a Super Bowl party when Janet had the wardrobe malfunction, and the gentleman that threw the party had some guy singing, and I missed it. So I don't go to Super Bowl parties. I'm in my house. I was at my house. I went to Publix and got me some turkey and some sourdough bread and some Miracle Whip and some cheese. I made me some sandwiches. I made a soup. I made a beautiful soup. Oh, it was so wonderful. The soup was wonderful. I just had it for lunch a few minutes ago before I came on here. And I had me some Lay's, Ruffled Lay's chips, and had a wonderful night. And I like to watch. I don't like watching a game with people that don't give a damn about the game. Yeah. I can't stand it. I can't deal with it. So I usually spend Super Bowl night sitting in the TV like I'm on the field.
I'm with you on that one. Mo, how was your Super Bowl party weekend?
I didn't Super Bowl party, nothing.
Really?
No. I ain't do no Super Bowl party. Man, listen, I was at my house. I went to the store. I got me a box of Tower Isles, Jamaican beef patties. Threw them in the oven, slice them open, put a little bit of mozzarella cheese on it, threw it back in the oven, let it melt. A little bit of crushed red peppers. That was my Super Bowl meal. And some cran apple juice. And I watched the Super Bowl. And that's
All right.
how I got down.
Will they repeat? Will we get a repeat of the same two teams next year, do you think?
I can see Kansas City. I don't see Philadelphia. You know, I'm putting bets on 3 teams because right now it's the best time to bet on the underdogs who you don't expect to go. I'm going to bet that the Detroit Lions go to the Super Bowl. I'm going to bet that the New York Giants go to the Super Bowl. And I'm betting on the Las Vegas Raiders to go to the Super Bowl.
It's funny how just a couple of days game makes because everybody was.
You can just mail me that money. I'll just put it up for you.
Yeah, do me a favor. Just give me that money, Mo. Just give me that money. Just please give me that money.
Hey, listen, you never know what's gonna happen. Listen,
I just told you what's gonna happen.
When the season started, in the word of Kelsey, none of you had us going. None of you had them going to the Super Bowl. Nobody thought Kansas City was going. I didn't think me and you damn right. That's why I'm going to bet on 3 underdogs. And if I win that money, work.
Mike Sean, everybody has their thoughts, everything else. What was your Super Bowl party weekend like? And do you think these guys are going to repeat and be back?
I didn't have a Super Bowl party. I was at the airport, which turned out to be turned out to be a good shout out to Chicken and Pete's at the airport. We wound up having a good time at Chicken and Pete's. Me and my daughter were over there. Will they repeat? I just told you Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts are gonna see each other in the Super Bowl again. And just quickly, I said this for 2 straight weeks that the officiating would have something to do with the winner of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you did.
For 2 straight weeks, I kept saying.
You absolutely called it. I put it in the chat yesterday. Fucking Mike Sean was right. Damn it.
And I will say this. That was a holding call, and I want to give props to the Eagle player who admitted that was a holding call, but we've seen that holding call not be called 1,000 times.
And it was an overthrow, a severe overthrow that he would have never got the ball.
Yeah, go ahead. Continue. Go ahead, Frank.
No, I was just saying from that angle as a player, he couldn't tell because he was running that way and the ball was that way. Like he couldn't tell. He wouldn't know. So he risked it off. So, but it still was horrible. It was still horrible, to have that call made. I don't know. I just thought that it was, the game could have been without that
But if
call.
if you grab somebody's jersey, you grab the jersey, if they hadn't to call that, everybody would be mad the opposite way. It's the one time where I will say the officials were in a no-win situation. If they let the play go, even though they had set the tone and let the play go, people are going to say he grabbed his jersey. So it's like they were the first time I love to jump on the NFL. I love to jump on the officials. They were in the worst situation ever. I'm sure they were like, why the hell did you grab his jersey and didn't just, we would allow the secondary penalty to happen. But when you grab it and you pull on it, what can you do?
Yeah, especially when everybody can see everybody can see the extension of the shirt when your hand and it pulls. Everybody can see it. It's so you can't. I don't know. Anyway, we get ready to roll up out of here, Dave. Since you out and about, and you was man enough to come. I gotta give you props, Dave. You was man enough to come in here when your team lost. I couldn't have did that, especially the way they lost. I could have did it. So Dave, everybody out there how they can follow you, bro. Any last words?
Yeah, I agree with Michael Sean. He's 100% right. You will see us in the Super Bowl again. We had a phenomenal season. Jalen Hurts has time now to develop, and I'm excited about it. You can follow me on all social media platforms at The Business Bully. And go Birds.
There it is, because y'all will be back. Mr. Rodney Perry, tell everybody out there how they can follow you and any of your final thoughts.
Hey, always a pleasure to be here on Box Seats with Comedy and Sports Meet. Rodney Perry live on all social media. We do the show every morning. Rodney Perry live, man. It was a great show today. We had Najee Good. He came on and gave us a little post game, post Super Bowl. He attended the Super Bowl, and also my buddy Harry was there, and so was Joy Wells. So I'm gonna see if I can get them to come on tomorrow and talk about their experience in the luxury box and what it was like being.
Yeah, they were drunk. They were drunk, Rodney. They were drunk.
They were absolutely drunk, but
they were drunk.
I know if I was in a luxury box, I'd have been drunk too.
You was drunk in your living room eating beef patty.
Yeah.
I
You
know.
damn right I was. You
Mo.
damn right I was.
Tell everybody out there how they can follow you, Mo.
Always Mo_comic on Instagram. Mr. Sit Your Ass Down, SITCHO on TikTok. You know, gearing up for next week, right? Gearing up for next week, right, Frank? Next week, baby. This is
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Matter of fact, I got to call you after the show, Rodney Perry, because yeah, we got to gear up for next week. But Mike Sean, tell everybody out there how they can follow you, bro.
At
What's
Mike
happening
Sean
next
Comedy.
week?
I'll call you and tell you. And besides the Comedy Awards, I'll call you and tell you. Go ahead, Mike Sean.
Oh, damn.
Mike, check me out in the morning
Damn.
time, Media Room 360, YouTube. Check out the Saturday show, CW33, 1230 DFW. Check that out. This is here in the Dallas area. And I just want to say, I'll admit when I was wrong. I still think Joe Burrows is elite. The two best quarterbacks played yesterday. So Joe Burrows is not better than Patrick Mahomes. And what he did yesterday was
Or
absolutely
Jalen Hurts.
phenomenal.
Or Jalen Hurts.
All Jalen Hurts. Those were the two best quarterbacks in the NFL that played against each other yesterday. So I would like to admit I was wrong until further notice, unless Joe Burrows does something. But right now, those are the two best quarterbacks.
I'm gonna leave it with this. I think Jalen Hurts is the best quarterback in the NFL. To me, I think he is. I like him better than Patrick Mahomes. Some people
Now
might
with
think
that fumble, now with that point shaving.
The best quarterback
I'm
in the
not gonna say
NFL.
I'm not gonna say the point favor. I like Jalen Hurts better than I like Patrick Mahomes right now. I do.
No, Patrick Mahomes has either been in the AFC Championship or the Super Bowl
I know.
every single.
It's something to be said for
season.
winning, man. Something to be said for winning. Patrick Mahomes is the Rocky Balboa of the NFL.
And Patrick Mahomes did that without Tyreek Hill in that game.
All I said was I ain't say it should be the norm. I just said I like Jalen Hurts right now. I like his composure. I like the way that boy plays. I like the way he thinks. Besides that mistake he made in the entire year, did you realize the Philadelphia Eagles only lost 2 games?
Wow.
The whole year?
The time will tell if you're right. That's what we have to say. Time will tell.
The best quarterback is Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is going to be the best quarterback next year.
Go ahead. What are you going to say? What are you going to say, Mike?
All I'm going to say is that Peyton Manning said right now, hands down, Patrick Mahomes is a Hall of Famer right now. And we're talking about this is his 5th or 6th season. Yeah, that's absurd.
He is.
I mean, well, he's done
right now. He can retire right now.
He's done things a lot of people haven't done. A lot of players can't say they've been to the AFC Championship 5 years in a row, won 2 Super Bowls, won the MVP, Super Bowl MVP, and the Super Bowl in 1 year. I don't think nobody in football has done that. The only ones who done it was Tim Duncan did it in the NBA, and Bobby Orr did it in hockey. I know that because I saw it on TV this morning.
Patrick Mahomes has already outdone Aaron Rodgers right now.
Yeah. All right, we out of here because the time is ticking and everything else. We got to move on. Box Seats will be back tomorrow, guys. Y'all know the routine. So thank y'all for watching. Peace. Take care.